Okay, we're going to go through that last component on the annotations, the export objects. So this is pretty much essentially if we're going to grab some objects, file, export selected, you choose your file type, and then your export scheme option. There's lots of them. You'll have different ones depending on which file type you're selecting. So the component requires a couple things. So if we look at the instructions, export objects from Rhino. Each tree branch will output it as one file, and objects have to be in the active Rhino model and not be from a reference model. So earlier I baked these boxes with a bake name in our Rhino model. So I've referenced our Rhino geometry. And then I've used the GUID component to get the Rhino unique ID that tells us what that tells us the particular Rhino object. So the Rhino objects requires this GUID. I'm also placing a plane on each individual one, so that way they all come in on the same spot. So if you're doing exporting some sort of file that's going to go to a router or anything, you generally want it to be at the 0,0. If you didn't want your boxes moved over here, you would just leave the plane as XY and they would come in at the same spot as its Rhino location. So that gives us our axis system, our plane, the Rhino objects. I made a quick selector using human item selector to select through these various file types. We'll do a DWG, and then here I just made a unique name using the format component and a list length. So if this was a dynamic list, we'd have a dynamic list of unique file names. And then you need the root folder path along with the file name and the file extension. Excuse me. So there is one little hiccup, and I think they might have addressed this in the next version, but I've been able to get around it and export thousands of panels this way, because as soon as you hit true, oops, let's see, that did what we did. That one was fine. It exported our boxes as expected. We're going to untrue this. We're going to switch it to the step file. So now when I do our step files, it's asking to choose the configuration. So you have to sit here and hold your enter button or hit enter every time. So back when I had a mechanical keyboard, I used to stick my pen cap in just to hold down the button. Either that or you're just going to sit here and hold down the button until it finishes. Turn off the true and go back to our folder. So now we have our step file, DWG file. If we were to hide these objects and drag and drop the insert or import, you'll see that here's our imported DWG, same place. Same thing with the step file. We'll do a different one. We'll do 8, import. And that's going to come in at that same spot. So there are improvements on this. And then, like I said in the intro, Rhino 8 solved a lot of this. You'll be able to import export a little easier from Grasshopper, as well as the next version of Elefront has improved on this as well. But here's the previous workflow. Thanks.